Hi and welcome to Caterpillar's Edwards Demonstration and Learning Center. We are here for a behind-the-scenes conversation for Caterpillar's Trial 9 Pac-Man video. Yes, they are back, and they are back thanks to the work of just dozens and dozens of people and hours and months, frankly, of preparation for this. And these are just a sampling of some of the folks who made this trial video come to life and made Pac-Man out of this amazing dirt you are seeing behind us. But I want to jump right in because the players in this game, Bob, I want to come to you first because the players, the ghosts, Pac-Man itself, they are skid steers, they are remote control. And first, I want you to tell us about your expertise at CAT. You are one of our experts, and then what your role was here.
Well, thanks, Rachel. So I'm a senior product demonstrator and instructor at a Building Construction Products based out of Cary, North Carolina. Down there, we build the skid steers at the Sanford facility, and we were invited to help assist on this. So. Excitingly enough, we had a remote control system that attaches to our skid steer loader line. And we shipped up 5 units, installed them on 5 brand new machines that we built primarily for this event. And it's been a success so far. So we were so thankful we were invited in to help.
So tell me a little bit about the players, and was this a first of remote control operating for some of them?
Yes, yes. And there's a little bit of a learning curve, but on the other side of that, Rachel, and I know you have a young son, that easily enough, children today and people as they're growing up, they're going into more of the game style operation. So everybody here picked it up rapidly.
Well, speaking of those players, we do have one with us, Tom, Dirt Ninja. Thank you for joining us. Tom, Ninja, do you have a preference?
I just go by Tom, just a regular guy.
So we like Tom. All right,
Yep.
Tom. Thank you, first of all, for being a CAT customer. And so we appreciate your business, as always. Tell us a little bit about, though, your business and also being part of the Pac-Man game this week.
So I own a small excavation business up in New Hampshire, and we do primarily small site work and new residential homes. So I have experience on skid steers, run them every day, but not too much on running it remote control wise. Once you guys figure it out where I can run it from my couch from my house, I'm all for it.
Bob, figure that out.
Yeah.
We've got it figured out, Tom.
But yeah, so I was the Orange Ghost Clyde in the Pac-Man trials here. It was a ton of fun. It was not that hard to kind of get used to it. The controller is really set up pretty similar to what is in the machine. I really liked the feel on the controls as an operator. You know, it felt like you were in the machine. So in terms of running the machine around, it really wasn't much different than sitting in it. I would say the most difficult thing was really the depth perception, because we had to stand off to the side of the maze. And if you're driving in a straight line back and forth, it's real easy. But when you have to drive across from where you're standing, and we were, you know, the machines are sunk down in the lanes, it was pretty difficult to kind of get that feel to get them to run straight in the lane. So that was the real challenging part.
That is one of the true benefits of our remote control technology, is that ease of use for our customers. Pac-Man, did you grow up loving it, or did you find a love for it again?
My parents' neighbor used to like install those old video game consoles, if you will, in like bars and things like that. So he always used to have Pac-Man actually in his garage. And every time my parents would have a party, he'd bring it over and put it in our garage for all the young kids to play. So that's my first memory of playing Pac-Man.
Jeff, I want to go to you next because, so yes, we see this amazing dirt maze and we have another behind the scenes conversation where we talked in depth about how they created it, which is nothing short of amazing. But there's a lot of animation involved in this trial video. Can you talk to us about what you do at CAT and then how you applied those skills to this video?
Sure. Yeah. I remember we kind of started this out when in the early stages, it was concepts of a maze, and then I know somebody suggested the Pac-Man, and really I know a lot of the logical was, how do you make this real? And a lot of that has been kind of a back and forth between Bandai. Just, we really wanted to get the, you know, kind of the look and the feel of how each ghost moves, the accuracy, which way they're looking. I mean, they have very specific colors. And one of the issues was also, it's like each ghost in the game has a very specific role and they're controlled by AI. So, you know, you've got Red, which is kind of the shadow, and he is always kind of behind Pac-Man, and you know, and then the other ones are kind of more elusive. But really, kind of figuring that out to get it in the gameplay was really a big challenge. You know, because it's going to be, you've got these guys controlling it. They're not computer controlled, obviously. So getting them to, you know, really work the skid steer to get it was really amazing how they were able to keep it almost on track with the storyboards that we had kind of put together.
And you mentioned something that I got schooled on this week because, yes, grew up playing Pac-Man, but didn't realize that there was a strategy behind each of those ghosts. You know, Blinky, Inky, Pinky, Clyde, Tom. That they each have a role. I guess I had no idea, but that's definitely part of what went into the animation. Yeah,
and figuring out what we could really do. And before, one of the things that we did that Lance and I worked really close together on was I basically at one point went through and set Pac-Man and had him animate the whole course and getting all the pellets to kind of figure out where each person needs to be for each shot. And so we really kind of know where everybody was going to be at, and kind of when they go back to the ghost pen, when they, you know, because a lot of, realistically, you can't, you know, Pac-Man chomps 4 ghosts in a row. He's not going to be able to just run over the, you know, 4 of the skid steers and keep going. You know, we can't run into each other.
They might have tried, but
they might have happened with the wall a couple times, but you know, otherwise it wasn't. They did such a phenomenal job keeping this thing intact while they played. But having all that kind of mapped out, because at the end you really want to tell the story. Ultimately, it goes up to level 256 where the game glitches in the original Pac-Man. And you need to tell that story of iterating through it. Like, you go from, it's basically ready at the start, eats all the pellets and the ghosts, and it's over. And you got to iterate that like 255 times. So it was really getting to the core of what we needed to be shot and how, you know, how we were going to kind of bring that to life.
It was really cool from my perspective as somebody who really didn't know what was going on here until I got here, to see like how much detail you guys went into to make it authentic to the actual Pac-Man game. So that was really cool about that.
I'm glad that came through, because Lance and I spent, now that we're at home and on Teams, it was a lot of like, okay, I'll call you in 5 minutes. And it was like it got to the point where I think we were just sitting on Teams during the day and just listening to each other work and breathe and forget you're on there going.
Life in a lockdown and remote work as this all came to life in homes across everywhere. But and Kelly, I want to ask you about this because the yellow iron, the skid steers, we are known, the Cat brand, loved for that, of course, but also what we provide our customers is those services, everything after the sale. So tell me how we went into incorporating services into this game.
Absolutely. So of course, as you had said, we're known for our iron, but then we need to support that iron. We need to support our customers. And so we offer many, many different services to help our customers succeed. So it was fun to go through and try to figure out of all the plethora of services that we have, which ones can we feature in the maze. We're including the Cat card from Cat Financial. We have the Cat app, really helping our customers on the go. We have our repair options, so a lot of different choices that we're offering to our customers in that space, as well as our customer value agreements, which are customizable for our customers to help them succeed. And so as we were taking a look at this and trying to figure out like, okay, what are we gonna include? We really felt like there was such a natural tie to Pac-Man, because as we look at that and as Pac-Man faces those challenges around every corner, so do our customers. And as Pac-Man eats those power pellets and powers his way through, Caterpillar is here to help offer those services to help our customers succeed. So again, whether it's financing or technology or the customer value agreements, we're here to really help our customers get over those challenges.
And the cherries on the parts box, that was a nice touch.
That was awesome. Loved it.
Yes, they're just all the details. Again, kudos to all of you, but I want to also pick up on the services, Bob, and ask you just a bit more, because Okay, remote control works really well on this life-size maze for Pac-Man, but works really well on a job site. And what are the benefits on that job site?
So absolutely. I will say that this is the first time that I know of that we've had an application need for a maze in a Pac-Man game, to my knowledge.
We just like to keep it interesting.
But part of developing the remote control system on the skid steer loader line was safety was number one. Safety has been a number one factor with Caterpillar. We follow that to the T. My daughter has always told me safety never takes a holiday. And there's so much truth to that. So on the safety side of it, a lot of the applications is police remediation. We have them in that application. We've got them in hazardous waste. We barge stevedoring off offloading cargo ships. Anywhere where there's a dusty, hazardous environment, we can get a remote control system to them. We've got a customer that actually cleans his snow on his driveway with a remote control skid steer because he's paralyzed. Wow. And he gets so much satisfaction of wintertime up north and watching and cleaning and operating a machine. So it has fit a lot of needs for a lot of companies, and we're so happy to bring it to people.
That's amazing.
And Bob, I don't know if you knew, but the Pac-Man was a customer as well, and he actually owns a remote control 299, and I was asking him what his applications were, and he runs it with a forestry mulcher. So I guess he does a lot of steep slope mulching, and for just safety reasons, you know, if a machine slides down into the river at the bottom, or just safety wise, and then he also uses it for demolition. So.
Well, we've talked such a great deal about safety today, and of course I'm sure it's easy to notice we are 6 feet apart in this socially distanced world with our global pandemic. So we thank everybody for being here, working behind the scenes for so many months, but also being here. And Tom, again, thanks for making the trip for this very milestone moment in Caterpillar history. And thank you again for being a customer.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great.
So there's so much more behind the scenes, as well as stuff you can check out about this Pac-Man video and all the people who were behind its success. So for all of that and so much more, visit cat.com/trial9. You won't be disappointed.